బస్ స్టాప్ తర్వాత అయితే అదేనా వర్షం బాగానే పడిందా రాత్రి బాగా పడిందా వర్షం
Good morning, good afternoon to everyone. So in the last session, we had a discussion on political science and it is important, isn't it? Is this my voice is audible? I request you to everyone and mute yourself, okay?
ఇది రైటా
Yes. In yesterday's session, we had a discussion on meaning of a political science, isn't it? So today we are going to understand the concept of third chapter. The third chapter, which we are going to understand is important. The name of the chapter it is relation of political science and other social sciences and relations. We need to understand and that. Is this my voice is
Sorry to
audible to
interrupt
everyone?
you, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you please mute it to all the students because lots of internet problem due to the rain and it's again disturbing from that person side chair. And can you please mute him?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. Wait
Sorry for
a
interrupt.
second.
Sorry, guys.
Yes. Is this now my voice is clear to everyone, isn't it?
Yes,
So
sir.
the relation, the third chapter, which we are going to understand, that is relationship of political science with other social sciences, isn't it? Now, yesterday I talk about the meaning of political science and as well as that how actually the evolutionary process has done. Okay, what was the contribution of America to development of political science? What is the contribution of European countries in order to development of a political science? We had a discussion yesterday, isn't it? So here is that, and now we are going to understand. See, in a social sciences, political science is a one among the subject. Okay. Yesterday I was talking about, and political science is deals about state political process, state and political institutions behavior, and it also discussed about an organized human society, isn't it? I said about it also a student of political science will learn the thing which are related to the matter of rights, okay, and duties, and responsibilities of an every individuals and all of that, which we learn as a point of this in political science. I said the meaning of polity, as well as also told you about the meaning of, political, and with the help of political theory, all of that. So now the concept is that how a political science is different from other social sciences, isn't it? As well as how political science is, and that in how it has its own relations with other social sciences also, you need to understand here is that. Let me explain. And here is that first, the main intentions of this chapter is that, you know, what is the relation between the political science and history? Let me tell you one thing is here is that, see, any and today we are the student of a political science, isn't it? So if you could relate it with in between the political science and history, isn't it? Without the history, you can't understand any subject. Is that unclear? See, if you want to learn any subject with with the evidences, if you want to learn everything which is related to the subject, and every subject, it consists of its own history, isn't it? So without knowing a history, you can't understand the subject. So the relation between political science and history can be treated as inevitable, isn't it? So as if you could consider, history is the root of all the social sciences, isn't it? History is the root of all the social sciences. Without knowing the history, we can't understand the complete subject. Either it could become a social sciences, either it could become a sciences, or any other subject. A student of every social sciences, student of every science, must and should have a understanding to know about an history of them, isn't it? So as one thing that you need to understand here is that a history can be treated as a root, and other socials can be treated as a fruit. Okay, if you want to enjoy the fruits as a political science, you must know the roots of a plant, isn't it? If entire the political science, if you could consider it as an any social sciences, if you could consider it as a plant. So for the plant, which actually that it gives a fruits, and that at the same time when it has a strong roots, isn't it? Any plant, it gives you a fruit. When it gives you a fruit, when its roots are strong, isn't it? So when roots are somewhat in parsimonious and which is not in strong, you can't expect any sort of fruits. So as political science is a fruit, whereas history is a root. If you want to enjoy the fruit, and you must know the roots. Roots is a something, but that in history, isn't it? So in history, say for example, and how the relations between the political science and history, if you could consider it as, you know when I'm talking about an yesterday an evolution of political science, when you take it out, the father of the political science belongs to Greek, isn't it? What is his name? I said Aristotle, isn't it? So today, being as a student of political science, we are not reading things which are related to the state and about in today. We are trying to understand the things what was happened in the history, isn't it? So like today, whenever you started to understanding the political science, and every student of political science started to learn about what has happened in the history, like Aristotle, what he said, and Plato, what he said it that, isn't it? Socrates, what he has explained that, Nicolo Machiavelli, what he has explained that, all such things which we learn from the history. So as history, it becomes and very important for any social sciences as well as to the history also. In the words of Gettill and Willoughby, these two authors in the political science have decided, Willoughby as well as to that in Gettill, which and explains that you know history is has its own importance in the political science, isn't it? We cannot avoid understanding history, even though if you are become a political science student, isn't it? As per the Willoughby and Gettill, and what is an idea is that, one second. Yes. In the words of Gettil, in the words of Willoughby, what they said it that history, it is an important substance where whatever the social sciences, you read it that, isn't it? So as when you take it as a meaning of a political science is talks about a state. Okay. Today, we are understanding the state and state existence, isn't it? So as if you go back to the 100 years ago, what was the rights of a person and how the and status of a person, all of that, you must understand that when you go back to this in and history of and what Socrates has said about an state and what Aristotle said about an formation of a state and all those things which we are learning. So learning of entire ancient political thought or Western political thought, or it could be an Indian political thought, that was a source of history, isn't it? So without an history, which we can't learn a complete subject. Do you understand my point? Similarly, when it comes to the point of an other social sciences, as you take it as in political science and economics relation, what are the relation between economics and political science, how we understand that and relation between the history and the political science. Similarly, we need to understand the relationship between the one and other, isn't it? So economics, what is political science means. Political science is a science which discussed about a state and state affairs, which means existence of human, rights of a human, as well as in everything which we need to understand. What is actually economic? Economic is a study of money matters. Okay, money affair, isn't it? Economics is a study of money matters and money related affairs of a state, isn't it? So as in the one side how history is important, similarly and here also the economics also is very important, uh, whenever which we are reading about in political science. Let me tell you, closeness between the politics and economics is explicitly clear from the fact that it recently, if you take it as political economy, isn't it? So in the Greek's intention, we have a branch of a subject in the political science, which we call it as a political economy. What political economy define? It is providing a revenue for the state, such as, for example, see, without an budget, can we administrate the state? Isn't it? Without and money, we can't administrate the state. So as money is lifeblood of an organization, it is very important thing, and to know about an economics, isn't it? So in keeping in view of that, what I'm trying to tell it here is that money is, and very, very important. Such as a political leader has to know the knowledge about an economy, isn't it? So in keeping in view of that, here, such as if you take it as in political economy, in the political sciences discuss about and how revenue and things should be done, how taxation should be done, okay, as well as how actually, taxes must be collected from the state, and how actually there's an economical affairs must be managed, how budget must be allocated, all those things which we learn in the political science as a branch of political economy, isn't it? So as a student of political science, this must have a knowledge about economics. How this is very important to understand here is that economics is very useful to the political science in terms of state. Today, if you take it as that, in order to defining the state, whether it is developed or not, we consider the economical factor, isn't it? Say, for example, and if I ask you the questions to everyone, how government define the poor status of a person, isn't it? Say, for example, if the government is decided these are all the poor peoples in the state, how actually they determine they are comes under the poor status, isn't it? When state is decided to, and in terms of poor status, what are the factors to be helpful to determining the is a he or concerned family is a poor status? We consider a kind of economical identity. So for example, if a person is being identified under the below poverty line, what factors which we consider? Firstly, we consider firstly the economical status of the person, whether he has a money, with that money is whether he is unable to, whether he is capable enough to complete his meals in a day, whether he is unable to eat in a day, all those things which we see and based on the status of the economy of a person, isn't it? So a state is considering or defining the poor family or poor individual by taking a consideration of economical factor, isn't it? अगर आप किसी को भी यहाँ पे poor के status में अगर आप यहाँ पे determine कर सकते हैं, कैसा कर सकते हैं यहाँ पर? मतलब पहला उनका एक economic state को यहाँ पे consider किया जाता, जैसा कि अगर आप whether they are employed or with that money is enough to capable, and that in order to that who's disturbing still, and let me tell you, I'll mute. Hi, Sharon. So
Sir,
here
what
is
happened,
that.
sir?
Okay, I'll give you
Sir,
the complete.
your voice was not coming, sir.
Yeah, it is coming. Wait, I'm muting to everybody. Listen, they are keeps on disturbing me. Okay. So here is that. Political science is a very very important, and where it has a relation with the economics also. अगर आप यहाँ पे without economic अगर आप यहाँ पे political science में पढ़ाया जाता, there is no and useful at all. Say for example, कौन सी भी గవర్నమెంట్ ఏదైనా గవర్నమెంట్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఖచ్చితంగా ఒక స్టేట్ అనేది పాలసీస్ ని ఎట్లా ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయాలి, ఒక బడ్జెట్ ని ఎట్లా అలొకేట్ చేయాలి అనేది కంప్లీట్ గా చేసేది పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్. స్టేట్ అఫైర్స్ అంటే మినిస్టర్స్ or cabinet ministers or financial ministers and all of that takes a responsibility to determine it. So as we can't avoid the political science relation with the economics, isn't it? Similarly, if today the state which is in making and demands, that is welfare state. So for example, any state government and which made a promise to the people that they are going to make and give the policies and they introduce a policies for the welfare of the people, isn't it? So now in the 21st century, every state is to be considered as a welfare state, such as India is also welfare state. यहाँ पर ప్రతి స్టేట్ ప్రపంచంలో ఇప్పుడు ప్రజల సంక్షేమం సంబంధించినటువంటి వాటికి ప్రజల సమస్యలను తీర్చడానికి మాత్రమే ఎప్పుడు ఆలోచిస్తుంది అన్నమాట. సో ఒక గవర్నమెంట్ ప్రజలకు సంబంధించినటువంటి సమస్యలను తీర్చడానికి ముఖ్యంగా అవసరమైనది ఏంటంటే డబ్బు, మనీ. Without money, can you expect that is there any chances of development? Isn't it? For example, a chief minister is there. What is his responsibility? His responsibility is that to help out the people, okay, to consider the people, to make the people and their meet their needs and without having any problematic condition, isn't it? Today, Telangana state government has been in implementing hundreds of policies, isn't it? KCR sir, many policies have been implementing to the state, isn't it? So how it is implemented? Any policy which is implementing, it doesn't mean that it is going to implement it, isn't it? तो ఏదైనా policies ని తీసుకున్నప్పుడు अगर किसी भी policy यहाँ पर लेके I mean implementing, हर policy को यहाँ पर economic का assistance जरूरी है, isn't it? Without an economical assistance, you can't implement any other policy, isn't it? Say for example, मिशन इंद्रधनुष, if you take it as a policy, तो मिशन इंद्रधनुष को भी यहाँ पर इंप्लीमेंट करने के लिए सारे के सारे स्टेट में यहाँ पे मनी की जरूरत रहती, isn't it? Without an money assistance, you can't expect something which is going to be developed, isn't it? So as a student of and political science, you must and should learn about a relationship between the economics and as well as to that. So in order to accomplishments of the welfare state identity, in order to providing the best benefits to the people, a state has to have the relation with the economy. Without an economics, the state cannot achieve its and targets, isn't it? So next one, interrelationship between this, if you could see, there is an interrelationship between economics and political science. If you could take it as the concept of the welfare state, and you know that again brought these two disciplines closer to such an extent that one expect and formal measure of the two day. Both this discipline aim to promote the people's welfare. In order to achieve the aim of the political science, if you could consider the whatever the major and purpose of the political science. Political science means there is a state government. Well, politics means is something and state. And state has its own affairs, such as administrating and that and ruling the people, implementation of the policies and all of that. So for that in implementation, there should be a need of them and the bank, there should be a need of the things which are required to the and development of a state. So these development probably it happens only and with the help of money itself. Without the money, without the economical assistance, there is no point of reason to achieve the and targets of a state. Similarly, and political science and sociology, we have another social sciences where there is a relation between the political science. Let me tell you, politics is very intimately related to the sociology, isn't it? First, you need to understand what is sociology. Sociology is a subject, one of the subjects in the social sciences, and the father of the sociology was Auguste Comte. What actually the sociology discuss? Sociology, it discuss about the concept of societal affairs such as societal issues, isn't it? Sociology, which addresses the thing related to the social issues and social affairs and individual behavior, and also at the same time how the institutional behavior and everything it discuss under the sociology. Today, you know that here we have a different cultures in the society, isn't it? Different ethnic group, different identity, different communities are there, different societies are there. So all together understanding about a different society, different communities, different individual behavior, it can be called it as in sociology, isn't it? So in the words of Roger Hoover Ross says that the state is a sociological as well as a political phenomenon, and during its early stages it is in fact more of a social than a political institution. If you could take it out in the words of Ross, what he was telling that every political science in the beginning stage, it used to be considered as a social sciences, isn't it? Why? And sociology, why means, if you could take it as, state established happen after the society happened. Let me tell you one thing. If I ask you the questions to anyone here, whether state is established first or society is established first, which one established first? Anybody tell me? Whether సొసైటీ
Society.
సొసైటీ అనేది మొదటగా ఎస్టాబ్లిష్మెంట్ అయిన తర్వాత यहाँ पे पहले सोसाइटी यहाँ पे एस्टेब्लिश हुई है, देन आफ्टर दैट ये सब सारे सोसाइटीज लेकर पुट टुगेदर दे क्रिएटेड ए स्टेट, इजंट इट? यहाँ पे सोसाइटी का इमर्जेंस कैसा हुआ, मतलब पहले one person have that in gathered of family, isn't it? If you could take it as a genesis of entire state right from beginning, first first man existence has happened on the earth. Okay, this existence of a person, soon after, in a gradual progress, he clubbed with the family, isn't it? One person have established a relation with the other, isn't it? It is called it as a family. So all these families put together created as a community. The number of families created as a community. These number of communities put together formed as a society. These number of societies put together formed as a state. These all the states put together is called as a, isn't it? This is the chronology of an establishment of a society. So what actually Ross was saying, yes,
Sir, video lag होती है.
Voice is not clear, sir.
Voice is not clear. Let me tell you,
Yes, sir.
because I'm in a Wi-Fi. I don't have any problem. Okay, so here what Ross saying that the relation between a sociology and political science, if you say, Ross was telling every political science starts with the sociology, isn't it? It is true also, because when status occurrences, since 13th century, after that Renaissance has happened. Before that, okay, यहाँ पर पहला तो सोसाइटी एस्टेब्लिश हुई है, उसके बाद सारे सोसाइटीज मिलकर यहाँ पे स्टेट को एस्टेब्लिश किया है. ओके, इसके साथ साथ यहाँ पर रॉस का जो ओपिनियन है, political science, it exists later, okay, and sociology is established first. You understand my point? Because first person have created as a society. So as a student of political science, if you want to understand entire the subject of political science, everyone need to understand first societal formation, isn't it? Everyone need to understand sociology. So as anything which we studied in the political science, one must understand the concept of sociology also, isn't it? If you do not, and if you don't understand the sociology, there is no possibility of understanding the complete political science, isn't it? So, and also at the same time, there is an interchangeability, interrelationship there. So for example, see, what is the work of a state? Work of a state to identify the problem, isn't it? What is the work of a state? To identify the problem and solve the issue. You understand that? Because what it state does. देखिए, अगर आप चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, हम सारी गवर्नमेंट है यहाँ पर तेलंगाना में, तो उनका पहला जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, पहला उनका जो विधान है, ऐसा करना पड़ेगा. मतलब फर्स्ट दे नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम. कहाँ से प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा? यहाँ पे सोसाइटी से प्रॉब्लम्स आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा. सोसाइटी के जो प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई करना है, तो यहाँ पे you need to understand the first society, isn't it? Today there are the problem exists in the society illiteracy. There are the problem exists in the society, that female infanticide. There are problems in the society, corruption. There are problems in the society, that illegality. There is a problem in the society, abuses of women. There is a problem in the society, that an economical crisis. So these are all problems which we have. अगर आप सारे problems को यहाँ पे identify करना है, student of political science must and should read the sociology. isn't it? A student of political science, and अगर आपको सारे पहले यहाँ पे when can you identify the problem, when can understand the society, अगर आप सोसाइटी के प्रॉब्लम अगर यहाँ पे कंप्लीटली हम आइडेंटिफाई करना चाह रहे हैं, कैसा आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं आप लोग? पहले यहाँ पे सोसाइटी को पढ़ना चाहिए, सोसाइटी के बारे में आप मालूम करना चाहिए, सोसाइटी का किरदार कैसा यहाँ पे है, एंड व्हाट दे आर डूइंग, हाउ दे आर डूइंग, ये सारे चीज आप जब मालूम करते हैं, सोसाइटी में कौन से प्रॉब्लम एग्जिस्टेंस है, सारे प्रॉब्लम्स आप मालूम कर सकते हैं, isn't it? So that's what a state is first, and identify and read the society. Soon after reading the society, they will identify the problem. Then the state will make the laws, isn't it? For example, say सती सिस्टम एग्जिस्टेंस में है, अगर आप समझिए, ठीक है, सती सिस्टम एग्जिस्टेंस में है या नहीं, आपको कैसा मालूम पड़ेगा? जबकि आप तब तक आप सोसाइटी में जाकर आप मालूम नहीं कर सकते, तब तक आपको कुछ ही तरह के प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं मालूम हो सकते, ठीक है? तो अगर आप यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम्स, कौन से प्रॉब्लम्स यहाँ पे एग्जिस्टेंस में है, ये सारे चीज अगर मालूम करना है, तो पहला आप क्या करना पड़ेगा? यहाँ पे सोसाइटी को पढ़ना पड़ेगा, isn't it? सोसाइटी को समझना पड़ेगा। जब आप यहाँ पे सोसाइटी को समझ सकते हैं, एंड वैसा ही आप इजीली आप वहां के प्रॉब्लम्स को भी समझ सकते हैं, isn't it? When you can understand the complete society, you can understand the problem. अगर आप प्रॉब्लम को यहाँ पे समझने पर उसको क्या करना है, उसको एंड यू नो दैट उसको इराडिकेट करना है। अगर आप प्रॉब्लम्स को अभी फिर यहाँ पे नहीं आना, अगर देखना चाह रहे, तो स्टेट क्या करना पड़ेगा? उसको लास्ट लाना पड़ेगा, isn't it? So the state will bring the laws, such as sati system eradication, okay, illiteracy, I mean को completely eradicate करना, उसके प्लेस में लिटरेसी को बढ़ाना, isn't it? तो उसके साथ साथ में जो भी प्रॉब्लम सोसाइटी में पॉवर्टी लाइन है, पॉवर्टी लाइन को एंड रिड्यूस करना, और वहां पे सब पीपल्स को जो भी मिनिमम नीड्स है वो सारे के सारे प्रोवाइड करना, ठीक है? तो सारे चीज को आप जान सकते हैं, मतलब आप तब तक आप स्टूडेंट ऑफ पॉलिटिकल साइंस, कंप्लीट नॉलेज ऑफ सोशियोलॉजी में है, तो तब तक आप प्रॉब्लम्स को नहीं समझ पाते, isn't it? अगर आप प्रॉब्लम को नहीं समझ पाते, तो वहां पे कुछ, वहां पर जरिया नहीं है कि लॉ लेके आने का, isn't it? So there is no point of reason to bringing any law, there is no problem, isn't it? So as sociology is a very important subject where a student of political science must and should read and understand first in order to making of laws, okay? Fuzul ka law, you can't bring any sort of an useless law. Agar aap kuch bhi, and you know that, so any law if you wanted to bring it, and that there should be a problem exist. Without a problem, how can you bring the law, isn't it? When you bring the law, that it becomes useless, isn't it? So what I'm trying to tell it here is that so sociology is very useful to understand the political science. So a student of political science must and should read it, like such as today, of marriage system, Hindu marriage system, isn't it? So mutual relationship between the political and sociology. Today we are understanding the, what is a religion and difference from one another. What is an, marriage act different from one another. These are all the things we get to know. How we get to know? When we understand the complete society. Do you understand my point? अगर आप सोसाइटी में सारे के प्रॉब्लम्स है, there are differentiate systems. Society always cannot be a uniformity. Do you think that society will be in the uniformity in every and perspective? Understand that? Is my voice is audible to everyone?
Yes.
Do you think the society is always uniformity?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that an always society is uniform? Anyone respond to my question? Do you think that the society always in the status of uniformity, or else do you see in the differentiation between the one society to another society?
The difference. There is difference.
Can you give me one example? True. Can you give me one example that
Like,
I can understand?
Yeah, like earlyhood child marriages was there, sir, at that time. Now it was not there.
Yes. Yes. And one more example presently, can you give me that and how one society is different from other society? Let me give you a common example to everyone. In a society, common example is that marriage system. Let me tell you. Can you tell me the marriage system in a society, everything it is a uniform?
No,
Do you
sir.
find any differentiation in the marriage system?
It's different, sir.
It's a difference. See, for example, Hindu marriage system is a quite different from Sikh marriage system.
Yes, sir.
Sikh marriage system is a quite opposite from Parsis. Parsi marriage system quite opposite to the Jains. So Jains marriage system quite opposite to the Muslims. Muslims marriage system quite opposite to the Christianity, isn't it? So which you can't see uniformity between one another. For example, state if it brings a law, common law for every society, can it be a works of? Listen to me here properly. If state brings a common law for every society, that in order to marriage system, can society accept it?
No,
No,
sir.
no, sir. It won't
No,
accept.
sir.
So they
No,
differ
it will not
because
accept.
so then what it happens, the law is going to become a useless. So the fault of a state, how state has made it a fault of law means because a state do not have sufficient information about the society. When state knows and sufficient and adequate information about the society, easily they can bring the law which is different from one another marriage system. You understand? So as in order to making of a better, and you know that in law, a student of political science must understand the sociology. Without understanding the sociology, there is no point of reason to bringing the good laws. You take it as not only the marriage system, but also their traditions. There is a customs, isn't it? So there are different systems. So, for example, all the communities cannot go to the temple, isn't it? All them in different peoples cannot worship it to the one God. The gods are different, isn't it? Mr. Srinivas, I understand uniform civil code. If it is going to be an implemented, that is okay. I'm not talking about that sense of thing, but I'm talking about here the thing is that which is related to societies are different, isn't it? Always the societies are different. You can't bring the society under the one roof at any time. If you bring that, it will become a conflict zone. The state has to pay the price for that. Do you understand? So as what I mean to say here that and if you want to bring the good laws, you must know the society. And if when you do not know the society, you can't bring the good laws. So as a and in terms of it, sociology also is very, very important. One can understand. So hence there is an interrelationship between the politics and sociology. So finally, and here we will understand what are the relations between the political science and economy, what is the relationship between the political science and history, and what is the relationship between sociology and history, sociology and political science. Let me tell you, the first one, history, I said it that history is the root of all the social sciences. Without know the roots, you can't enjoy the fruits. If you want to enjoy the fruits, you must know the root, isn't it? अगर आप completely political science को आप सही तरीके से जानना चाहते हैं, हर तरह का knowledge आपको पहले introductory knowledge होना चाहिए, isn't it? Directly you can't write, you can't understand, and then Indian polity, isn't it? Directly you can't write anything which is related about a present society. अगर आप political science, if you want to learn the complete knowledge about a political science, one should understand exactly about what has happened in the past. So अगर आप अपन we are learning about an Aristotle, we are learning about Socrates, we are learning about an Plato, we are learning about an Bentham, we are learning about Charles Merriam, David Easton. ये सारे लोग के बारे में अपन मालूम करें because it was a part of history. It was a part of history of political science. So we are reading about a past thing. History is nothing but which reveals us something related to the past. Okay. What is the meaning of history? Can anybody tell me?
It is the narration
What
of
is the history?
past events, sir.
It is a narration of past, or else, and it tells you, it reveals you something which was related to the past, what has happened in the 100 years ago.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Without money of us, we can't run the state, isn't it? So in keeping in view of that, and history is very important. Similarly, economic is very important. Sociology is very important. All the three things is very, very important. You need to understand. We get into the block. The next chapter is that we are going to understand block 2. That was related to, there is a traditional approach approaches to the study of political science. So first, I'll skip this unit and I'll go to discuss about another unit. And then after that, after completion of the third unit, I'll try to understand, I'll make you to understand the second unit, because so there's a link between the one another. Hence, I just go with the next block. That is, I will start off this, third chapter. There is an theories of origin of state, isn't it? Theories of origin of state. We understand in the next lesson, in the next class, which I'll make you to understand the concept of origin of state. So that I just give you the introduction, you will understand very easily that. See how political science has emerged. Okay. First, the polity word. Okay. So how polity has established in everything we understand with the help of various theories. One among them, in order to explain about a formation of a state or a formation of a political science can be classified in the theories. The theories are three different. One is, historical or evolutionary theory. First one, isn't it? Isn't it? Historical or evolutionary theory. First one. Second one is that you learn about divine theory. Okay. And also at the same time, you will understand about social contract theory. The three theories you will understand in the next class about the formation of a state. First one, you learn about an historical and evolutionary theory. Second one, divine theory. And the third one, you shall learn about, and social contract theories, isn't it? All this thing you shall understand in the next class, and I will teach you each and everything in the block 3. Then after I'll go back to the block 3. If you understand everyone, if you have any sort of questions about in this chapter, political science in relation with other social sciences, you can ask me, and I'll give you the 5 minutes of the time. Then after I'll bind it up the session. Anything else?
Sir, will you please give us notes, sir?
See, I think I have seen that in some of them they have prepared in WhatsApp group, and possibly I'll try to and send the hand notes to that. But not now. Whenever I have a time, so I will send the hand notes to that group, and you can take it out. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sir, can I know your number, please?
There is an WhatsApp group, please, and find it out there itself. Okay.
Sir, group name.
WhatsApp group is there already. You can find it over there. Okay.
Yesterday I made.
Sir.
Yes, just tell me.
Sir, can I know the previous class videos? Can I get it in? Because I was on in class and late, sir.
Okay, no problem. If you're a bit late to the class also, you can listen the same class in the YouTube. I'll forward the link to your, WhatsApp group. Okay, I have.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So then you can see there. Okay.
Okay,
no
sir.
problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine then. See you.
So, what's the name of the WhatsApp group?
Wait. I'm sending a link to everyone here. 1 second.
WhatsApp group is BRSTM.
1 second. Here the link is.
Sir,
I have
control
posted a link to your WhatsApp group. Please check once there. Huh?
Sir, control మీరే చేయండి సార్ చాట్ గ్రూప్ లాగా చేయకండి సార్.
Okay, fine. Yeah. That somebody should look after that, and I don't look after that. Okay, from your side you can do it. Okay. Okay, see you, and no more doubts. Shall I call it off the session?
Sir, will you please?
Block 3.
Sorry.
సార్ ఏదైనా బుక్ సజెస్ట్ చేయగలరు సార్ ఈజీగా అంటే ఇంగ్లీష్ కొంచెం అర్థమయ్యేలా ఉండే బుక్.
very easy
user
book
friendly.
is that your Ambedkar Open University book itself. Do you understand my point? So very easy book is that your Ambedkar.
Sir, ఇంకా books deliver కాలేదు sir, political science.
Truly that you can contact to your center, okay, your admission center where you get it out. Otherwise, you can also then go to the university to get the book along with your concern admission receipt, something. Okay. Okay, fine.
Thank you, sir.
So bye everyone. Thank you everybody to join the session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye,
Have a
sir.
great day, sir. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Sir, ఏ దాంట్లో అండి గ్రూప్ లో